Hey everybody, it's Eric from EP Autos, your libertarian car guy, giving you a live report from Southwest Virginia as we progress into Corona fever hysteria. Just past my gym, I panned the camera on that so you could see the empty parking lot and the empty net revenue of the people who own that gym, who have been going about a week now without anybody paying anything, and with the bills accruing, and that's something that's scaling all across the country. And I think we should really be thinking about that all the time as we talk about, or as we're made to think about, the supposed risks to our safety posed by this virus, which I think are hugely hyped, hugely exaggerated. Or at least, as Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs guy, recently posted in a video on the subject, extraordinarily dangerous, because we're taking the prospect, the possibility of a catastrophe to ensure the certainty of a catastrophe. The claims that we're going to have these mass deaths, note, not cases, not infections, not the number of people who are sick, the number of people who are going to die has been implied to be huge. Of course, we don't know that it's going to be huge, and so far only a few hundred people have died. In fact, in context of both the population of the country and the number of cases, as they're styled, the number of people who've died so far, which is about 600, is extraordinarily small. It would ordinarily be a blip on the radar. As I pointed out in the article that I wrote and just posted earlier today, about us being turned into hens in Battery Hen House, there's something like a person dies every 37 seconds in this country from heart disease, stroke, heart attacks, and so on, and about 650,000 people a year. And that goes without comment. That's considered natural and normal. And of course it is. Heart disease, you can have it genetically, but generally speaking, it's the result of lifestyle, and made worse by lifestyle. But the point is, it's natural in the sense that nobody injects you with heart disease. Heart disease just kind of hits, and then you die sometimes. Well, all right, we've got nowhere near 600,000 people who've even gotten coronavirus yet, according to the worst case scenarios. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll get 600,000 people who get coronavirus. Maybe we'll get 1 million. Maybe we'll get 20 million. But the critical factor, the key point, is how many people are actually going to die from this thing. As I drive around here, Southwest Virginia, I see lots of live people. I'm looking, but I don't see any dead people lying in the gutters, in the streets. Don't see people hacking up blood. I'm hugely suspicious so far, or at least skeptical, I should say, of these hysterical worst case scenario claims. I think with good reason, because the same authorities that are whipping up these worst case scenarios are also the same ones that were telling us just a couple of weeks ago that the climate was in crisis and we have to act now and draconian steps are necessary to save the planet. And prior to that, what's another example? Remember the weapons of mass destruction and the mushroom clouds that are going to appear if we don't let the government keep us safe by taking away all of our liberties and giving it unchecked, unaccountable powers. Hey, look, a traffic jam. That's heartening. At any rate, here we are again. Now, of course, it's possible that this time is different, but I think it's reasonable, per the boy who cried wolf, to be skeptical in the absence of hard proof, particularly given the stakes. The stakes are enormous. This is no small-scale hassle in context, relatively speaking, like the Green New Deal, which would have certainly imposed a lot of costs and cost a lot of people their jobs, but probably wouldn't have grenaded the country. It would have just made things a little rougher on most people. This is going to make things catastrophic on almost everybody. There are very few people who are going to be unscathed by this, not just economically, but also personally. I mean, think about the fact that in a number of states now, you're not allowed to leave your house and go out and do whatever you want to do your thing. Think about that. What's the cost of that? What is the cost of your basic human freedom to just go out and be a person and do things, to transact business, to run your business. These things now are being effectively criminalized. Think about it, criminalized, to go out and go to a coffee shop, to have a cup of coffee, to sell a cup of coffee, to let somebody sit at a table and drink a cup of coffee, all of these sorts of things. It's madness. It's lunacy. If the end of the world is coming, well, then so be it. This would be the end of the world. There's no point to this. It's just logically crazy. It doesn't make any sense. At any rate, that is my short form rant. There's a longer written rant up at epautos.com, which I hope you'll take the time to stop by and visit. And by the way, I don't normally do this, and especially now it seems kind of, I don't know, impolitic to bring it up. But if you value voices that are contrarian or at least skeptical, if you think it's important to have journalism that isn't owned by big corporations, and you'd like to hear points of view other than the scripted points of view, please support independent media, including epautos.com. We have a little button on the page. You can throw a couple of bucks at us that way, and if you do, we'll throw something back at you. Not just information, but if you'd like to get a coaster or a magnet or a sticker from us, we will happily send one of those along to you. Anyway, thanks again for listening. Thanks again for reading. Thanks again for supporting the site. I'm hoping that a few weeks from now we'll be able to look back on all this and if not have a laugh, at least breathe a sigh of relief. So thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.